Cassie just exposed Diddy for really horrific things that he put her through during their decade-long relationship. In an explosive $30 million lawsuit filed days ago, Cassie details how Diddy used to have her hooked on all kinds of substances in order to control her, threatened to unalive any guy she spoke to, and even went as far as to blow up Kid Cudi's car and then break into Kanye's home because he suspected her of having an affair with him.
Ooh, Diddy, you are in trouble. Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, has filed a $30 million lawsuit accusing him of forcing her to sleep with other men, take drugs, and other things. This was the last thing that I expected in regards to.
Chill. Cassie is dragging Diddy down to the pits of hell for this despicable behavior. And word on the street is, oh, this is just the start of surviving Diddy, because the NYPD is currently running a criminal investigation on him for his involvement in multiple sexual assault allegations, and the evidence is piling up against him. Okay, so Cassie sent the whole internet into a complete frenzy when the news broke about her filing a $30 million lawsuit against Diddy. Cassie first started dating Diddy when she was just 19 and he was pushing 40. Cassie claims in her lawsuit that quickly after they started dating, he became really controlling and abusive, that he used to put hands on her and force her to sleep with a bunch of male escorts while he filmed it. He called these encounters freak-offs, and Cassie claims she used to be high on substances so she could dissociate herself while she had to do these things. The lawsuit also detailed the time that Diddy forced himself into Cassie's apartment after they had dinner together and assaulted her while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. She also mentioned a time when Diddy repeatedly kicked her in the face and wouldn't stop, even after a member of his security team tried to de-escalate the situation. She said he used to do stuff like this to her every single day, but everybody who witnessed it would keep quiet because everybody's scared of him. All of these incidents led to her occasional memory loss, which she still suffers to this day. This was also confirmed by Cassie's former personal assistant, who actually witnessed this happening while he was still working for her. He said, "It's all true. I seen it with my own eyes as her personal assistant. It was sad to watch, but I'm happy she's good now and speaking out." Azalea Banks also alleged that Diddy was actually putting hands on Cassie so bad at one point that he had to fly her out to Hawaii for a 3-week vacation so nobody would see the damage done to her face. She said, "This is true. One time, Diddy beat her up so bad, he sent her on a 3-week vacation to Hawaii just so nobody would see or question how her face got like that." Now, remember how I mentioned earlier that Diddy would get super jealous anytime he saw Cassie talking to other men? Well, she went into detail about that as well, and she came with some receipts. According to Cassie, Diddy went through her phone one night and found some messages between her and Kid Cudi and went crazy. He later told Cassie that he was gonna blow up Kid Cudi's car, which he did the very next day. The lawsuit stated, around that same time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway, and a spokeswoman for Cudi confirmed these allegations, saying, "This is all true." But according to some sources who spilled the tea exclusively to Armand Wiggins, Diddy actually burglarized Kanye's home the night Cassie ran to Cudi's place to spend the night because he thought she was with Kanye.
Apparently, allegedly, Diddy was the one that had Kanye West's house burglarized in 2012. Now, what I'm hearing is Kid Cudi and Kanye West lived around the same area in Los Angeles, had a house around the same area. They were kind of like neighbors. Diddy had somebody following Cassie. The person went back and I guess told Diddy that they were at Kanye. She was with Kanye at Kanye's house. So Diddy is like, Kanye, I'm going to send some niggas in there to ransack his house. But turns out Cassie was never at Kanye's house. she was down the street, around the corner, at Kid Cudi house. Once Diddy found that out, then he blew up the car.
Child, Diddy is one of the most sick people I have ever heard of in my whole life. Now, if you've been keeping up with Diddy over these past couple of years, then you know allegations like these have been coming out about him for a while now. People just weren't paying enough attention. Well, now people are begging police to reopen the case of his deceased ex-girlfriend, Kim Porter, because they believe Diddy had something to do with it. See, at the time of Kim's death, it was reported that she died from pneumonia, but people speculated that this was just a cover-up to hide the real truth behind her death. See, the coroner who was initially investigating Kim's death, Ed Winter, died unexpectedly after he reported that he had found toxins in Kim's body. But just when Ed was close to digging out the truth, he was thrown off the case and replaced by another coroner. The second coroner was hella shady because it took him 2 weeks to confirm that Kim died from pneumonia, which is very weird because it definitely wouldn't take that long to conclude that someone died from pneumonia unless they were trying to hide something.
Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia.
But what's even shadier is that just before Kim died, she was writing a tell-all book to expose Diddy's dirty secrets. But just before she could release the book, she wound up dead. And just like Cassie, it was reported by many people close to Kim that Diddy used to mistreat her and had her hooked on drugs so he could control her. Kim's ex-boyfriend, I'll Be Sure, also alluded to her possibly being murdered when he posted a video of him crying with the caption, "Just found this footage from the morning I learned of Kim Porter's murder and how it ripped the soul from my physical body. I do know very clearly that Kim didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some bullshit." And according to sources, Kim actually tried to warn Cassie to break off her relationship with Diddy as soon as she could because she knew what Cassie was gonna deal with. But remember, Cassie was only 19 years old, and Diddy was promising her a very successful career, even offered her a whole record deal. I mean, it's not surprising that she overlooked all of the red flags and stayed with him. And Cassie confirmed this in her lawsuit when she said Diddy used to threaten her that if she actually left him or spoke about anything he was doing to her, he would use all of his connections to blackball her from the industry. The lawsuit said Cassie felt that saying no to Diddy would cost her something: her family, her friends, her career, or even her life. But as you can expect, Diddy and his team slammed the allegations, claiming that Cassie tried to blackmail Diddy way before filing the lawsuit. They were basically trying to make it look like she was just after his money. His lawyer released a statement that read, "Mr. Combs vehemently denies these offensive and outrageous allegations. For the past 6 months, Mr. Combs has been subjected to Miss Ventura's persistent demand of $30 million under the threat of writing a damaging book about their relationship, which was unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail. Despite withdrawing her initial threat, Miss Ventura has now resorted to filing a lawsuit riddled with baseless and outrageous lies, aiming to tarnish Mr. Combs' reputation and seeking a payday." Oh, but trust and believe, Cassie's legal team is not playing, because they clapped back and exposed Diddy for offering Cassie 8 figures as hush money just so she wouldn't file the lawsuit in the first place. Mr. Combs offered Miss Ventura 8 figures to silence her and prevent her from filing this lawsuit. She rejected his efforts and decided to give a voice to all women who suffer in silence. And that's on period. Because Diddy knows there's no way he's coming out of this, and that's why he's trying to silence Cassie. But this is just the beginning, because now it's being reported that the NYPD is running a serious investigation called Sean Combs. The case is described as a very sensitive case, and it involves a bunch of Diddy's sexual assault victims. Honey, Diddy is going down. And not even his little billion-dollar net worth can save him from this. And as I said before, this whole situation sent the internet into a frenzy because folks have been waiting for this day for so long, and it's finally come. One person said, "I'm sure she waited this long because she had to gather evidence and prepare for a strong case. You can't just throw a lawsuit on Diddy without having a foundation." Another person said, "I can tell for a very long time something wasn't right with him. His behaviors were extremely abnormal. That love persona was definitely a cover-up, and it was obvious." Now, as for Cassie, she released a statement to Page 6 saying that she's finally ready to tell her truth, and she's not going to be holding back anymore. "After years in silence and darkness, I'm finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about Cassie exposing Diddy and airing out his dirty secrets? And do y'all think this is really gonna be the end of Diddy? Or will this case unfortunately end up like the rest of them? Y'all know what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.